right, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk About the Real Shit. We are stoked to come to you this evening in our garden. It's a beautiful day in Portland. It's kind of sunny. It's coming through. We can see all the green.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
It's pretty fun. Tonight, we are going to just be Lori and I, and we're going to talk about where we are in life. What is it, 8 or 9 months into our business?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's around there. Yeah. And just where we are, how we're feeling, what we've kind of accomplished, what we're going for, our vision. And we just want to be real with you guys tonight about our process, because I know that we're not the only ones out there trying to believe in ourselves and advance and start a new company. And so we actually really hope to bring a lot of inspiration into your worlds by just being honest with where we're at and how we're feeling. And so that's kind of what we're going to get into tonight. But before we do that, we have pulled a card because we always like to start our podcast with this.
Well, actually, I've got 2 cards in front of me. One is a card that I pulled yesterday. To be honest, we were going to try to record this yesterday and life just didn't happen. So Here we sit, and that's part of the flexibility of starting a new business and listening to our own bodies and our own space and time and what's best for us. And so we chose not to record yesterday, and here we are today. So that's just a bit of transparency and truth. So yesterday I pulled this card, and I loved this card yesterday because I had a phenomenal day yesterday. We'll probably get into that, right?
We'll get into that, yes.
So yesterday I pulled this card called Options, and these cards come from this deck called Affirmators, and I highly recommend them. They are just a fun place to start your day.
Daily affirmation.
Yeah,
fun.
I've shared these. Yeah, they're fun. They're funny. They're funky. You can get them at knockknockstuff.com. So I just want to give a shout out to them.
It has like a unicorn and a bunny riding the unicorn and a rainbow.
Right. It's all about
miss it.
Magic unicorn, magic rabbit, magic
You have to read
cat.
them out loud because they're funny. So this is what we pulled yesterday.
Yesterday was called Options, and the picture on it is like this hot fudge sundae that's got a shrimp tail and a chicken leg sticking out of it. If you can imagine your options. And there's a theme here I'm just noticing, and you'll catch this in a minute. As I open the abundant possibilities of my life's path, I'm reminded that I always have unlimited options. Life is like a buffet, and I allow myself to choose whatever makes me happiest without limiting thoughts like, you can't put mac and cheese on your baked potato. Why the fuck can't I put mac and cheese on my baked potato? I can put any fucking thing on my baked potato that I want.
Sounds great.
Right? Because I have options.
Yeah.
And then today I asked Noemi to pull a card out of the stack, and now you'll see the connection. My dear sweet friend Noemi pulled the word abundance, which is a bonus card, by the way. And it says, congratulations! It seems you're due for a scratch out little and infinitely big piece of abundance pie. Feel like you don't deserve it? Knock it off. It's already plated and ready to hit your table. Reluctant to take it? Shut your hole. Abundance pie is big enough to serve everyone. So get your whipped cream ready, unless you're lactose intolerant, and enjoy your well-deserved metaphorical dessert. So let's just all try to find that vibration of abundance. You have to reach for this one. You have to really reach for that vibration and just try to feel it in your bodies for a minute and breathe it in. Because if we're all there collectively, our world can change.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Well, so it seems like the theme of it is abundance on both days.
And options.
And we're actually going to go into that a little bit this evening about what we've been going through separately. But I know personally I've been working my fucking ass off.
She has.
And the abundance in my world right now is just, I'm getting through these hard days just to be able to pay things off and to keep ahead and get caught up and to pay my rent. So I have this beautiful roof over my head right now, which I know a lot of people don't have. But I'm one of those families, and I know I'm not the only one out there who is struggling to the point where it's like, it seems like the reason I've been struggling so much through this winter season is because of one thing happening to me each time it's rent week, which is always my hardest week that I have to work. So if something happens to me, I have to work extra hard, which is like 15-hour days, because that's the only thing that's in my control, to make these things match. So it makes me think a lot about the families out there that are struggling as much as I am, where it's one thing, like I had to get new tires. I got food poisoning last week. I mean, you can't work when you got a flat tire and you can't work when you got food poisoning. And so it puts me out, a couple of days. And I know, but what if something worse happened? What if somebody, I'm a Lyft and Uber driver. So what if my car got wrecked and that was it? I would no longer be able to work with that. I mean, I would have gotten in an accident. It would have been very scary for me to be out on the road. Sure, I could have rented a car, but I would have had to have worked twice as hard for the money that I'm maintaining right now with the rental car programs that in place. So what happens when something happens to another family? Well, then what happens is that family is now in a shelter or homeless or on that teeter-totter of the homelessness.
Well, like you say, many of us are one paycheck away.
Thing from happening to us that we can't control.
That puts us out on the street. That
puts us back and then back again and then back again. And it's like, I've been working like even feeling weak and just it's been a mental fuck. It's been that's being honest. It's been a mental fuck because you have to get through that. You have to remain positive. I still
you have to put your shoes on and walk out the door and
which
get
is really
in your
hard because
car.
my back's out now.
Get in your car and turn on the ignition and back your car out. Right?
That's a huge part of it. It's like if I can make my tea and get in the car, I am like half the battle, guys.
And then get off the island, right? Get off the island,
And with Lyft and Uber, technically, yes, I can set my own schedule. But the reason I started doing Lyft and Uber was because the hours are there. I can make the same doing what I'm really good at in the service industry. I'm good at cooking, all of these things. I'm phenomenal at those things. However, the hours aren't there. I need to be working 60 hours a week to maintain my life and to possibly get ahead. So I know I'm not the only one out there that's going through this right now.
Well, a lot of people are using Lyft and Uber just to supplement their other jobs. So they're working. They go to work 9 to 5, 8 to 4, and then they get in their Uber car and they continue to work. So they may not be driving Lyft and Uber for 15 hours a day straight like you are, but they're going from a job and then driving.
I know.
To make that 60, 70 hours a week just to sustain their family, right? Just to live.
And that's what's happening in the family dynamic is that, we're like they're huddling together and everybody has a job. And that's just because in all honesty, like the only reason I'm surviving is because I'm able to work 60 or more hours in a week.
And we don't have children.
My son's grown up. Yeah,
right.
Our kids
we
are
don't have
up.
we don't have to pay for childcare.
No.
I mean, those families that are in between,
or the food that they eat.
Right. Those families that are in between birth and school, the childcare expense out there is unbelievable. And add diapers onto that. I mean, I just don't know how young families are doing it.
Well, you did it at one point in your life.
I did it at one point in my life, but I was also a single parent on assistance. I was on welfare. Yeah. So I had, my monthly stipend. I was in HUD housing. My rent in Manhattan, Kansas was $7 a month.
Oh my God.
$7 a month, but it was in a shitty HUD house.
Right.
You know, I mean, literally, I say shitty. When I moved into this house, of course, there had been a flood that year, and there were only like 4 houses on the market. And I found one, which I was grateful for. So let me say that. I had a place to put my children. But when I went to move into this place, there was literally cat shit stuck on this shag carpeting that I had to take a knife and cut the cat shit off of the carpet and then go rent a rug doctor and steam vac it to the best of my ability and strategically place my furniture so I knew that it was over the cat shit spots so my young children wouldn't be sitting and playing on the carpet in those cat shit spots. So yes, I have been there.
Yeah.
I have been there.
Mean, it's what drives us now, though, correct? I mean, it's what drives us to, what we're doing right now with the real shit, it's to show people that, hey, you're not alone.
You're not alone.
Have the conversation. Trust a human from time to time. Let's level up. We're here having a real conversation with you guys tonight because we really want to show you, yes, we have been there, but this is where we are right now, you know, and we want to be honest about that. But it's also about inspiring you and I want to talk to you guys a little bit tonight about coming to a place within yourself where you find that peace and that happiness within the day and being very present. And I have a little bit of a challenge for you guys I'm going to offer up later. So,
wow,
Lori,
can't wait to hear this one. I don't even know what this challenge
we've been
is.
Talking, I mean, this has been it's been very present. It's been a conversation that's been coming up, and it's been how I've been feeling, and if anything, I can just express to you guys what I've personally been putting into practice and how it's been working for me. And if it works for you, great. I mean, that's awesome. But I just want to share with you guys what I've been really practicing lately.
Well, I think we've kind of lost that art of sharing and that art of community living in America, where it literally is a dog-eat-dog kind of world. And like you said, you're spending 60 hours of your day, of your life, a week to just survive, to just make the money to survive. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't save a lot of time to build relationships, not only with your family, but your community. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't save hardly any time to build a relationship with yourself. Yeah. And I think that's the one relationship most of us put on the back burner because we don't even recognize that there is a relationship to be built there.
Yeah. So you shared something with me yesterday, and this was actually because she had such a big day yesterday, guys. She shared this with me, and so we just chose not to record at that moment because it was just a long, exhausting day, and we wanted to have a little bit more enthusiasm for you. But I want to go into that a little bit because it ties in with everything that we're talking about. Would you mind sharing with our audience, Lori, about what you experienced yesterday and how your day kind of took a few turns and kind of what you went through and that growth that you experienced specifically yesterday?
Oh my God. Yesterday just took a turn. I mean, it was a Saturday morning. I woke up thinking I'm going to do this, that, and the third, meaning like clean my house, get groceries, start looking at my stuff for taxes, not only personal, but for the business, blah, 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 blah. And I woke up and had a little moment to myself and took my dog out for a walk. And I just had this revelation. And generally I wake up and I do my meditation and then take my dog for a walk. I mean, that's my normal workday thing as I get up at 6:30 or blah, blah, blah. So I can do my meditation and have that moment to myself before anything or anybody else has an opportunity to crowd my space, to include my dog. But yesterday was a Saturday and I wanted to sleep in for a little bit, and I did, and I woke up with a bit of a headache, went and took some medicine, and was going to go back to bed, and Brody Mans hopped off the bed and was looking at me, and it's like 8:30 and I'm going like, fuck. I can't go back to sleep
I know. We're
comfortably,
such a good doggy moms.
right? Knowing that I've already peed and it's his normal time to pee.
The same thing goes through my head too. I'm like, oh, I have to pee the first thing. Well, in fact, that's usually what gets me out of bed is because I have to pee. And I think about my dog.
I know. And that poor little guy, I mean, he generally has to wait like almost 2 hours from the time I wake up in the morning, do my meditation and pee and make my coffee and do my things before I'm ready to put his collar and leash on and let him pee. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to go back to bed so desperately. I just really did. But I looked at my little man and I'm just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to go back, close my eyes and have peaceful sleep until I know that he's had an opportunity to relieve his bladder, same as I. So I take my dog for a walk, and it's a rainy, but this beautiful gray day. And just so you all can visualize what I'm seeing, I literally wear rose-colored glasses in the morning. So I see the world from a completely different lens, and the sky is generally pink or purple through these rose-colored glasses. So it just makes a difference in my day. And yesterday during my walk with Brody, I've really been working during my meditations on letting shit go. And I don't want to let the lessons go from the people and the situations that I've been in. I want to retain that wisdom. But I have discerned recently, like in the last 48 hours, that my body, I have taken so much pain and negative energy that has come into my life throughout my 54 years on the planet and swallowed it and shoved it down and packed that shit down hard in my body because
keep swimming.
Because being a single parent, I had to just survive. I had to stay in survival mode. I did not have time for emotion. I did not have time to feel. I did not have...
Because you had kids.
I did not have time to feel. I had to get through my undergrad degree. I had to get through my grad degree. I had to provide a future for myself and my children that was sustainable, and my chosen profession is in healthcare. And so I knew that there would always be a job for me if I could just get through these 7 years of school, which turned out to be 8 because I didn't get accepted into grad school my first year. Fuck y'all. But I made it the second year. And here I am, right?
Wow.
But through that whole time, I was just hell-bent on this mission to be mom and dad, provider and nurturer. And guess what failed more on that scale was the nurturing scale, because I had to provide. Well,
you were both. And so even when the nurturing comes out in a mother that's going through that, the kids kind of forget that because you're also playing the role of the dad. And so when you have them combined in one person, it changes it for these kids that are growing up.
And if you ask my kids, honestly, and
there's a little bit of fear and a little bit of respect.
Yes, that. And a very regimented schedule for them. But I think if you ask them honestly right now, how they felt about me growing up, I think they would look at me more as a father than a mother, because I was more the provider and the disciplinarian than the nurturer, and, making cookies and going to school and doing
because
those.
You're providing.
Right.
You're
doing
putting the
those
food on
things.
the table, you're working hard, you're doing school.
I did do those things, just not on the same scale as other mothers were able to do it. Mm-hmm. I had to balance that. But more to the point is, I've shoved all of this down, shoved it down so far. And I didn't even realize that I had shoved all of these emotions down. And
so, like, for example, the pain of what you experienced in the first place to put you in that place where you took your kids and left.
Right.
And went on that journey.
Right. So
there's the pain of the abuse.
Right. That I didn't even have time. I didn't even have time.
What that person did
Right.
to you.
I didn't have time.
The years of that, how you processed things.
I just didn't even have time to deal with those emotions because I had a 3-year-old and a 19-month-old that I had to get the fuck out of the house and come up with the plan to sustain us.
Yeah. And so you haven't had any time and you're still busy. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm your business partner and your neighbor and you're still busy.
I'm always going. We're
both always going.
Right.
This is what we love to do, guys.
Right. But it came, I've been dealing with this twitching in my right eye for a good 2 years now that has manifested into what I feel is almost like a face drop on the right side of my face, which also is pain in my right trapezius and my right arm and my right shoulder. And the right side is where Lego sits too. So that's where the yappy bitch is always yapping in my right ear, and Spirit's always quiet in my left ear. So I've really felt my whole right side kind of draw up. If you can imagine pulling your shoulder up to your ear and squinting your right eye and you're turning into Quasimodo. That's how I felt. That's what my body was doing. That's not how I felt. That's what my body was manifesting. It was manifesting.
Well, as a result of the feelings that you're containing within yourself. Yeah, it's actually affecting your body physically.
It was. All of these emotions. So emotions turn into chemicals, right, in our body. We feel them, and if we don't deal with them, those chemicals are still in our body. They still sit there. And if you're always in survival mode and you never get into complete relaxation mode where you can deal with this shit, those emotions stay in your body. And they had manifested in the right side of my body from my eyebrow to under my breast. That whole part of my body has just really drawn up and gotten tight. And I've worked really hard over the last year and a half to, through meditation, release some of that. But yesterday I had a trigger. I won't tell you what the trigger was, but I had a trigger.
You recognized it.
Yeah, I had a trigger and I recognized it. And that trigger caused me to feel hurt. And my normal response for hurt is swallow hard, shove it down, move on, right? Don't deal with it. But yesterday during my dog walk, I'm like, wow, okay, that's hurt. I'm just going to feel this for a minute. I'm just going to let my body feel this and then release it.
So that's something, just for those of you who don't understand what that feels like, it's when you've had really bad things happen to you over and over and over again, and you just have to keep going, what we're talking about is not having the time with ourselves to grief, actually, right. It's not a moment of weakness. It's actually a moment of healing, because that is it's I guess a form of ceremony in a sense, because you are allowing yourself to release a lot of the physical ailments that come with holding those things in.
I took a moment to honor myself.
Yes. So it's not a bad thing, you guys. It's not a breakdown. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It's actually a healing moment for you, because
it's so healing.
You're able to release so much of that pain. And it actually does end up helping you physically, because you do hold it in more than you realize.
Right. So during my dog walk, I realized that. And I just sat there. I mean, I was walking, but I sat there in nature with this thought of, wow, that really hurt. And that really fucking sucked. It really sucked. It sucks for me. I know that the situation is as it should be for the greater good of everybody. But for me, it really sucked that I was on this end of it that caused me pain. And I just processed. I allowed myself a minute to process pain. And I think, honestly, it's the first time in my life.
But it opened up a pretty big floodgate for you, huh?
Multnomah Falls, man. So then I got through that situation. And then my body went to another situation. And I'm like, all right. I'm just going to deal with all of these fucking anchors. And let me tell you, that's what this emotion that I have shoved down into my body, and they manifest as pain in my physical body, and not debilitating pain, mind you. And a lot of people probably wouldn't even know that I have this Quasimodo thing going on in my head, but I do, and it makes me uncomfortable, and I want it to go the fuck away. And the only way for me to do that is to deal with my pain and let it go, and let it go out of my body. I have to let that emotion that's been stored in my body get out. And how do we do that? A lot of times we do that by crying. Crying
Screaming,
releases
just
that body. Writing.
So many.
Screaming.
Burning something.
Primal screaming.
Yeah.
Vocalization.
Putting mud on your fucking face.
Of emotion.
You just feel it.
I had this the other day too when I was in a meditation, and I was like just trying to feel what anger feels like. What's the vibration of anger really? If you just sit there thinking about the vibration of anger, what does that feel like? Okay, I'm feeling it. What does it sound like? And to me, it's like, oh, like verbalize that shit.
Yeah, I've done that a lot of times.
Verbalize that shit.
It feels good to scream sometimes, right? You guys, out into the sky.
Let it out. So towards the end of my dog walk, I had this other moment where I felt like my body was the fulcrum or the pivot point in a tug-of-war rope, if you can imagine. I'm the flag, right? Mm-hmm. In the mud pit.
Yeah.
And I've got all of these people and situations on the negative side, my backside of this tug of war. And they have been fucking pulling hard on me. And every step I try to make forward, these motherfuckers, if they're not pulling me backward, they're keeping me in the mud pit. I'm in the fucking mud pit. And the only way for me to let my positive team out there that's pulling for me, right? They want me to get out of the fucking mud. Come to us, walk to the light, Lori. Let go of your fucking past. It'll be easy.
But you are the one, you're holding yourself back. You're literally like a team of Lories on the other side of the rope, pulling you back that way, going, yeah, but this is what I know. But this is what I've been learning.
Right. No.
Todd, this is where we're comfortable.
Except that team of Lories have all these other motherfuckers' names attached to them, right? That have, in my mind, held me back.
Yeah.
They have dissed me in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
They've told me I'm not intelligent and I'm not good.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's not true.
You're not. So yesterday, towards the end of my walk, I just started cutting these motherfuckers off, man. I'm like, whack. There's that anchor. Oh, guess what? I get to take a step in the mud forward. And I just started whacking and whacking and whacking. And the next thing I knew, my body felt like it was out of the mud pit. And I felt lighter and freer because I had allowed my self, my person, my human shell, this thing that's made of muscles and nerves and blood and cells that holds my spirit.
Yeah.
I allowed it to process some of those chemical emotions that were stuck in my body so far down.
Yeah.
And it was a trip. And I was exhausted at the end of the day. And then I go home and I have another kind of out-of-body meditation experience where I just kind of allowed my body to move and go where it wanted to go and release some of this energy. And at the end of that experience, I was encouraged to write about everything, which I did. I just word vomited into a Word doc. I have not revisited it yet. I have no idea what this thing even looks like or what it says. But it was so healing. And it was draining physically, but it was also liberating. I really had a lot of energy.
Do you
yesterday.
also realize when you use separate senses on one specific thing that you're going through, it's actually more impactful?
Oh, yes.
So writing it, releasing it actively on your
moving
walk,
your body, right.
moving your body, thinking about it. All of these things are using different senses. And so by doing these things, you are making more of an impact.
Right.
On your growth moment. You're
Your
leveling
growth
up.
moment.
You're leveling up.
And you're allowing your body to heal.
Yeah.
You're really allowing your
releasing
own
so much knots.
body to heal, to just let that fucking negative energy run right out your fingertips. And it will. It can.
Yeah.
The universe is waiting there to pull that fucking energy out, because where did you get that negative energy from? You got it from the universe through other people and emotions and situations, and you stored it in your body. And the universe is ready and waiting and willing to re-accept it, but you have to fucking let it go.
Absolutely. You actually, that brings me to something that I would love to be able to. It's coming up in my car a lot of conversations. It's coming up right now, and it's something that I've been practicing, and I want to share with people. And so wherever it is that you are at in life, we are recognizing and validating that shit's hard right now. Everybody's
Amen.
fucking struggling it is fucking hard, honestly, to make very many adjustments in our daily routine, because our bandwidth is at its max. But one thing that I've been practicing and I've been talking a lot about is spending the time with yourself.
Amen.
So through some people, it's meditation. Other people, we can't get to that meditative state where we can clear our minds. But I want to talk about the importance of spending time with yourself. As a driver, I get a lot. I'm focusing on what's going on around me. I'm very present in the moment, but that means I'm observing the things that are going on around me. And I have a lot of time to think. And I know not everybody gets the time to think and process life like I do, because I'm on the road. But in the morning before I start driving, I know that it's important, and I can tell the difference in the day if I don't do this, if I don't spend this time with myself. But in the morning, spend time with yourself. So for me, I take a bath, I walk my dog, I make my tea. I spend like an hour or two to myself in the morning. I'm awake. I've got everything in order. I'm super OCD. So I feel ready, so that I feel so honestly socially obligated when I walk out my front door, because of what I do as a job. I have a position to really empower and inspire people in their days. And so it's important to spend time with yourself in the morning, process things, think about things, love yourself.
Start your day in a positive
yourself. This
moment,
last Valentine's
right?
Day, I actually saw more of a prominent message of love thyself rather than the classic fucking Valentine's Day shit. And I was really pleased to see that, because that's really what a day of love is as a reminder to love yourself.
Because you can't really love somebody else.
You cannot go out there and meet the world in that warrior mode where you've got this day and where you can actually be the person to really impact a lot of other days. It's energy and your mood is very, very powerful. So when you walk out for your front door, imagine feeling ready, awake, calm, on
empowered.
time. And part of it too, and as a driver, I would like to say this as well. A lot of you in the cities do Lyft and Uber to get to your commute. So it's your daily commute. And I know a lot of you are on your phones when you're in the car in the mornings. And might I suggest trying to change the commute and making it something more fun, more empowering, like having a conversation with your driver, for example, or listening to a podcast, or
together with your driver.
Yeah, with your driver. Like,
let's share information.
Because that actually is. Once you get into that Lyft and Uber car, that's still not your time. You're actually socially in a situation where if you're just not feeling like you're ready to talk to people yet until you get to work, well, that sucks for us. Because for me personally, I pick up on that energy and it bums me out when you're just plugged in and there's nothing there. And I understand that people are tired. I get that. But I would really love for you guys to be able to benefit from something that I've been practicing from, and that is just waking up a little earlier. And I know that you are tired. Well, maybe what will end up happening, which is what's happened to me, is you'll end up falling asleep earlier. But I'm in a pretty good schedule now, and I am allowing myself an hour or two with myself in the morning before I start my day. And I'll tell you guys, I inspire a lot more of you out there in my day because I've allowed that time with myself.
You have to keep your cup full if you want to give out.
You've got to. I have my days when I, my moments, and we all do. But it is just, it's so where we need to start heading and communicating and growing and leveling up as a community. And when we talk about community, it doesn't feel very community when everybody's just looking at their phones. So spend the time with yourself. Allow yourself the time to heal. It's really, really important.
And along those lines too, when you're taking that self-care time, I mean, our brains, we're not using most of the capacity of our brains, and that's well documented. And one of my gurus, Dr. Joe Dispenza, thank you, Dr. Joe, if you happen to listen ever, for your words of wisdom, your guidance, your dedication to the community of the awakening people and teaching us and guiding us. But one of the things that sticks out in my mind that Dr. Joe is always saying is anything different is good. Anything different is good. So even if you have your morning routine, like Naomi has her morning routine, and I can be OCD too, and I used to take pride in the fact that I was a quote, creature of habit, unquote. But one of the things Dr. Joe has taught me is that anything different is good in your morning routine. And that could be something as simple.
Going a different route.
Right. That could be something as simple as trying to brush your teeth with your left hand.
Yeah.
Opening
absolutely.
doors with your left hand.
Yeah.
Let that side of your brain fire and wire a little bit.
Walking a different direction with your dog.
Right.
Because they're also creatures of habit.
Right.
And you'll find that you'll kind of trip up if you make that choice.
Right. And they have their favorite spots where they like to poop.
Yeah.
And it's like, find a new spot, dude.
Yeah.
let's together find a new spot.
She's in.
Right? Right? But it's just, that's how you break up the monotony of your Groundhog Day. Your Groundhog Day routine.
Spending the time with yourself is going to give you the energy and the control over how you choose to have your day, which is choosing to be happy and choosing to be abundant, choosing
and present.
It's the options, right? Options, choosing. Options. That's definitely in the same bracket, but it's all of those things. It's let's prep ourselves for the day first of all.
Let's feed ourselves.
First of all, let's just start the day on a good note.
Let's feed ourselves
and see what happens.
So we have something to give.
And see what happens.
Right?
Yeah.
And if we all feed ourselves a little bit in the morning, and we have just that much more to give during the day, what could that do?
You end up feeding off each other, right? Yeah, you end up feeding off each other. And we end up traveling the world just by having conversation together.
Explore
the
new
moments,
cultures and
the moments that we get are very, very beautiful and very, very beautiful. Yeah, so just take a step back, encouraging you to start spending time with yourself. We did want to go into tonight about where we are And you guys obviously know that both Lori and I are working our fucking tail ends off. Not only are we doing this in the day, and not only is our morning routines very important to beginning our day, because when we come home, we really try to work on stuff with the real shit and throughout the day. So we are putting in full days right now. And I talk about this a lot as well. And it's not just spending the time with yourself in the morning, but it's like, okay, spend the time with yourself in the morning, get through your day, and then spend a little bit more time on your yourself.
Dream. On your dream.
Like leveling up, believing in yourself, because when you do that, eventually, yes, it's a lot of fucking work. You are not going to get there without dedicating the life to yourself. You are not going to get there unless you have the ability to believe in yourself, because we've had our ups and downs with this company. We're super fired up again, because we are definitely going to make Portland the first city of nice holes.
Join us, Portland. Join us.
Nice hole movement.
It's our mission.
We'll go into that in a minute, but it's. I talk about it a lot in my car, and I feel personally that I've inspired a lot of people out there, and this is how I inspire people. I ask, I'm like, well, what do you do? What do you do for a job? So I find out what their skill is, correct? Like the skill that we were taught. Yeah, the occupation. And then I'm like, well, what do you like to do?
Whole different subject.
So, and then I'm like, and then I learned something completely new about this person, right? And so then I'm like, oh, well, okay, well, what are you good at? I was like, well, I personally have sold everything, put everything in my car, and moved to like the most expensive city, and just believed in myself. So the fear for me is a little bit less than it is for a lot of other people, because I just have that gypsy spirit in me.
Yeah, we're gypsies.
But I know that there's a lot of people out there who don't have that gypsy spirit, and it's very, very fearful. And I'm here to encourage you and inspire you that the fear of what the unknown is. I'm telling you, the good things that open up, unknown, and the doors that open up for you in your life, for us, since we've started this company, we've had a few doors open up for us with the garden and this light wave technology. Thank you, Manny. We've had doors open up to us that we never even imagined, because we've continued to put the effort into doing what we believe in, which is feeding our actual souls. Which is sitting here and having these conversations with you guys, as well as taking action into some of the things that we're talking about, which I think is equally as important. So yeah, that seems like a lot to do in a day, but it's possible. It's possible.
We all have the capacity to make change. We were all put on this planet for a reason. I firmly believe that. I think we lose that calling or that spirit or that inner voice in our day-to-day.
Or some of us have never been taught that at all.
In our day-to-day routine, right? It gets buried. It easily gets buried in our obligations to others in our family. But I truly believe that every one of our spirits has a purpose on this planet. And I think we're coming to a time, and I'm going to be a little bold and ballsy and a little woo-woo.
This is where we say it, right? Because
I'm going to be a little woo-woo for whatever. That's just the easiest term. But we all have a spark in our soul, and we all have an inner purpose and a greater calling. And I believe that collectively is called community. And we have lost that.
We've lost the pack, the tribe. We've lost the family.
In our individual...
And for Americans specifically, family units are not as strong as even, say, like the Asian culture, right?
Well, we're so spread out. My family's in Kansas.
It's...
Right?
So there's a lot of things happening. And now with the online digital age that we're in with social media, et cetera, all of those things, we're not communicating anymore like on the phone or face-to-face. We're doing it through text or email. And we've talked about that before with using our words. and how it's misconstrued or like communicating is not happening because people are reading these messages from what they're feeling.
You and I have had this conversation too, that your tribe is not necessarily your family.
No. It's
right?
I think that it's your chosen family, right? Along the way. And sometimes it's also your community where you're looking for those people who are looking for you, and you're pulling them into your community, because I think there are several people out there longing is probably a more appropriate word for that connection with other human beings. I think that actually, I really want to talk about this for a second. So we live in Portland, Oregon. I fucking love Portland, Oregon. I've been here. I was born in Oregon. I've lived in a lot of areas of Oregon, and this is the first time actually living in Portland itself. I've been here for over 3 years now. Very, very immersed in the community. I've had over 10,000 people in my car, so I'm very immersed in the community. I know this city like the back of my hand now. That is where where I came up with the NICEL thing, because I do believe that Portland is a city of NICELs. So we went on to the Urban Dictionary and we changed the definition of NICEL, and I think ours is still at the top.
It is. Last I looked.
But basically our definition of a NICEL is the opposite of an asshole. And so our message is absolutely fucking positive. It breaks it down in the simplest form. Fucking be nice.
Right.
But I am like on this movement. We are on this movement. Mission of making Portland the first city of NICELs, because this city, and for those of you who have visited and those of you who live here, you all know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a very small town vibe, but it's a city.
It is a city.
It's a little city in the woods. We are day walkers. We love to hike. We love to do active things in the day. We're very friendly. When the sun comes out, we are giving each other hugs. We appreciate it. We like garden naked. We bike ride naked.
We love our beer, our wine, and our spirits. We love our beer.
That is
and our weed.
Oh my God, our weed, our beer, and also we really want to make change. There's some things that are happening, and as all of you know, there's major issues happening with the homeless. We are personally being active in making change towards that. So if you do want to volunteer, please email us. We do have a specific thing when we're talking about the homeless mission that we're on. So if you want to volunteer your time or just find out what we're doing, email us about that. But we really are, this city is primed for change, you guys. We love each other. We know our neighbors. We love our nature. The city is primed for change. We are the city of NICELs. We are definitely NICELs. The NICELs outnumber the assholes, even though there are still some of them out there. But the NICELs definitely outnumber the assholes. So that's something that we've been up to.
Right.
Right.
And along those lines on change, significant change, please look into Psi 2020. They're a grassroots organization that is looking to bring psychedelics, specifically psilocybin and MDMA, that have proven therapeutic benefits for mental health and addictions. They're trying to bring that to Oregon as a medicinal modality. Please check into Psi 2020. There are
sign the petition, guys. Let's get this shit legal.
There are streetwalkers out there. Sign the petition.
Let's get help.
Let's get help
for these people that could benefit from this.
A natural occurring substance. It's been medicine for millennial.
This could get people off of addiction. This could help people with addiction.
This can get homeless off the street.
Oh, this is big, big, big stuff, you guys. Big, big, big stuff.
So those are...
Yeah, and we do our mushroom shirt, which helps support the mushroom movement here in Portland. I mean, we're huge advocates about that, for sure. We've been out there kind of trying to do what we can.
And we want to get more involved as our personal bandwidth allows. So, but if all of us give a little bit of our personal bandwidth to this movement and to the NICEL movement, these two movements, we can make a difference. That's how you make a difference in your community.
Yeah.
Give
well,
a
you have to
little
make a
bit of
difference
your
in yourself
bandwidth.
first. And
Right.
that's the whole start of this. It
Fill your
has
cup
to
up.
be at home first, you guys.
Fill your cup up so
love
you have
yourself.
that little
Spend the
bit of
time.
bandwidth to give.
Spend the time. Maybe make some shifts and adjustments in your regular routine. Humans are very adaptable. Like we adapt very easily. So when you take something away, we just shift it with something else. So let's make the shifts towards making the planet a better place. And that's just as simple as remembering your fucking grocery bags to go to the store. You know, buy biodegradable bags for your trash. Really be a recycler. I'm a huge stickler on that, you guys.
Oh my God, I hear your voice in my head every time I walk into Target. It's like, God damn it, I forgot my bags. I have to walk back to my car and get my bags, but I'm doing it. I'm very
happy about that because I've really been talking a lot about that, right?
I know.
So you come over a lot. So this is something that I want to get towards you guys within the next 2 years. I want to get as many people as I can to come in on buying the meat that we eat. So when you buy a quarter of a cow, it's like $2,000 or something from a sustainable farm. I don't have fucking $2,000 to spend, but I know that I have some to spend, and I can get enough people who want a sustainable life too that don't have the money where I'm at. I know there's a lot of us out there.
So
let's start creating Facebook events. I don't know, whatever, let's get together. Let's buy our meat from a sustainable farm. Let's eat less of it. That's going to make a difference.
And share it.
Let's share it, make less of it, sustainable farms. I want to get to the point eventually. I'm not there yet because I just don't have the actual garden space to grow enough food to sustain my family for the winter through canning. But I want to get to a place where I'm gardening and we just are really more of a sustainable family and lifestyle. Those are things that you can start shifting to go towards. And trust me, the food's going to heal you. Cancer will, we're talking like feeding the world and curing cancer. And these are just shifts. But where we are with the real shit is that we've been working hard. We're exhausted, but we're not giving up. No, never. We're not giving up. We're 8 months in. We've got a couple of our products printed on bumper sticker and t-shirts. We've got, I don't know, I think we've probably recorded about 16 podcasts now, but we probably have like 13 of them released, which is pretty good. We're getting there. Please give us feedback on some of the things you would like us to have a topic about. That's a big part of it. Email us. Please subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, or actually, we just got on to iTunes. Tell them, Lori, about our loophole. Well, actually, I think I should let you tell them about the loophole because it was your husband's stroke of genius. It was Jesse, the guy we keep in the basement. Anyway, he came up with the loophole with iTunes. And if you type in the real shit, it pops up. But the actual name on iTunes is The Reels Hit. That's REALS, capital HIT. The Reels Hit. Because fuck censorship. And also, we're trying to get some good shit out there. So like us, subscribe to our channels, share us with your friends. We think we're fun. We love you. We hope you love us. We want to love more people. Yeah, love the world with us. Right? Give us ideas on what you want to hear us chat about. Grow with us. Right? We're willing to do some research and educate ourselves on topics that you give us. Love to do that. Yeah, well, we've already learned so much, and already just our podcasts have opened up a whole new life for me. So it's already made a difference. So we're not going to stop, guys. Please tune in. We are Grassroots, and we are, because of our name, The Real Shit, we've really got to do some guerrilla marketing. Yeah. So we do need your help out there. Facebook won't let us run ads on Nicehole because we're telling people to be a certain way, which is to be nice. Anyway, fuck them, right, guys? Right. Fuck them. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing. And I do want to bring up one more thing too for you, because I wanted to inspire you all that may not know where to start. First of all, we came together just in a nutshell. We came together, the three of us, in different kind of realms of what we're good at. And we created the name, we created the image, the idea, we created the website, we made a video. We've come up with 2 products now.
Created t-shirts, created a podcast.
Now, in the 8 months, I would say we've learned more of what we're kind of going for and more of the market that we're going, or like zoning in on. So you do learn as you go.
Narrowing.
We're the first LLC in Oregon, right, to have shit in our name?
Yep. Broke that barrier.
So that's a first victory. But also a really good resource that helped us in the beginning stages for us was SCORE. It is in a lot of places in the U.S. that I know of. And these are successful fucking CEOs of companies or just high up theirs in these companies who have made shit happen that are actually willing to mentor you for free in starting your new business. They just want you to succeed. And I think that's fucking awesome. And we personally have used SCORE and we have a mentor. So it's a huge, huge start. Also with our podcasts, we got lucky because my husband's a music producer, but I know everybody's not married to a music producer out there. But another resource to use for podcasts, because I do talk to a lot of people who want to start podcasts and just, hey, check out your local radio station. So we are on kboo.com on their podcast page where you can hear our podcast, but we also have the option to go record at the actual KBOO location. So for those of you who don't have studios, there's an option. Reach out to your community.
Amen.
So it's a good way to start, you guys. Hopefully we've encouraged you to believe in yourself. Build your own website if you have to. Make a plan, have a vision, put the effort into yourself.
Do something every day to get out of your Groundhog Day. And I don't care if that's opening doorknobs with your left hand. Open doorknobs with your left hand. Do something different.
Yeah. Take a different turn just to go down a different street so you notice a different house.
Do something different. Let your brain absorb a different activity.
Yeah.
However small it might seem to you, to your brain, it's like, new highway.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Hopefully we have encouraged you guys to kick ass out there and to believe in yourself and to, hey, level up. You're the only one holding yourself back. We believe in you. And just don't give up. I think that's the key. Just don't give up because it's always a lesson. So let's wrap it up. I always do like to end the podcast with something fun that's happened in the week or an experience that's happened in the week, just to kind of normalize where we're at in this time. So I'll start because I just kind of sprung it on Lori. She has to think about it. I've had a lot of extremely beautiful moments in my car and Lyft and Uber this week. Like I said, I got food poisoning recently, and my period on the same day was really hard. And I started working because I lost wages. I had to work, and I really had to bring myself to this state driving where I had to do what I could to be present and enjoy what was happening to me, because that was what was going to be happening to me, because I had to make money, because otherwise I would lose something that it was not okay to lose. So I've had some very beautiful moments with my community out there. I've reached out to a lot of people from all around. And I have to say, you guys, you're actually the reason that I have continued to enjoy moments in my day. Thank you for opening up to me. I had a moment a week ago where I had a guy in my car. I've had him in a few times, and hey, he's running for mayor in Portland. His name is Ozzy Gonzalez. And I told this guy who's running for mayor, who knows about my Real Shit podcast, and I said, the power's in the people. if we come together, we can actually take our power back despite who's in office. And that's something that we're starting to do. And it's actually something that you guys can all start to do as well. So at the end of the day, we make a choice. We choose to be happy or not. We choose to grow or not. We choose to have a conversation or not. But thank you for all of those who have shared a piece of themselves with me, because that is literally what has fueled my being right now to get through what I've been getting through. So thank you. I just had to share that to all my little Portlanders out there, and also those of you traveling through Portland. It's been pretty special.
I guess I want to just kind of to come full circle. I started talking about my dog walk yesterday, and I want to kind of finish with my dog walk from yesterday, along with just taking the time to feel the pain. I also took a moment to shut my inner voice down and just listen to nature. And it was a quiet, rainy morning, so there weren't people, there were not cars. I could hear the rain dropping on the cement around me. I could hear the rain hitting the trees around me. I could hear the geese that were talking to each other in their little flocks all over the island, because I actually stopped and shut my frontal lobe down for listening to my inner self. And I allowed my ears to expand, and I really challenged them to go out as far as they could from me. I wanted to hear the furthest sound away from me that I could hear. And I just stayed in that moment. And it's beautiful.
It's being mindful.
It's magical. Mm-hmm. Nature has so many beautiful, peaceful, serene little sounds that I know I don't take the time to appreciate at all. Mm-hmm. But I did in that moment. And then another thing I did was take a deep breath in through my nose and smell the rain and the earth and my environment around me. And it was clean because it was raining, or at least it smelled as clean as the air can be where I'm at in life right now. But those two things I don't do enough. I don't take time to shut everything out of my inner, out of my head, and let my ears actually do what my ears are supposed to do.
Yeah, listen. Listen.
Listen, but not only to what's really near to my head, but what's out there. And today on my dog walk, I was thinking about how narrow-focused we are. We are so narrow-focused. When we're driving, we got to keep our eyes on the road, right? Yep. When we're doing work, we got to keep our eyes on the computer screen.
We're always focused on something.
I think we as human beings are losing the ability to use our peripheral vision because we are never allowing our eyes out there. So that's another thing that I've become aware of. Stop for a minute when you're out in nature and let your peripheral vision, look how wide your vision base really is. Let your eyes expand out there for a minute and listen and take it all in. Breathe it in.
When you can have these nature moments, it does make you feel more in tune with making the right choices on saving it.
Connected.
So it's like getting better on our stupid little lazy, silly habits that we've been consumed in. So let's connect with nature, and even if you don't get to hug a tree, guys, fucking recycle.
I'm gonna snort and leave it at that.
All right, you guys, we love you. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get real. Let's keep it real. Let's talk about the real shit.
We love you.
Visit therealshit.net. Let's get the nice whole thing out there. Let's get that message out. Fucking be nice. All right, guys, don't forget to be a nice hole.